We're now shooting in 8K because we can. I just wasn't sure what the difference would really be like. But shooting on the A1. That is nuts. There we go. Let's go up a bit, up into the bits there we can see the stars. It's crazy how it changes so much. So I found photographing the aurora, northern lights, whatever you want to call them, it's pretty cool. And lots of people have been doing it with their mobile phones as well, which is, if that's the only camera you've got, it does still give a pretty good result in some respects. But when you get it onto big cameras with fast lenses and stuff like that, it's a completely different kettle of fish. As you can see here, I mean, you can't really film the aurora like this unless you've got a very, very fast lens and a really good sensor. It's mad, absolutely mad how you can get away with it. And this lens that I'm using is a Sigma 35mm f1.2 DGDN lens. Absolutely amazing. I bought it second hand for about 800 quid, and I think new they were about 1500. So for me, absolute bargain. It was in mint condition, and it was something that never comes up for sale. And it's actually one of my favourite lenses, not just for astro stuff, but for portraiture, dance and stuff like that. It's extremely good. And even shooting wide open, you can get a really shallow depth of field, and it's kind of got a very similar look to the 135G Master, but a wider angle version, if you can kind of understand. But back to the nighttime stuff, I could literally hand hold shots without having to use a tripod in reality, and film it like this. It was mad, and it's so usable. And it's quite interesting. I'm shooting at 1/4 of a second. As you can see, the plane flashing there is sort of jumping across the sky. It kind of gives you almost a real time lapse effect. But I didn't need to shoot that slow, but I just thought I'd do it just for a bit of a giggle. But turn the ISO up to about 4,000, 5,000, and I could shoot 1/25 of a second, 1/50th of a second, f1.2, and it was interesting to see how much detail you're still getting. But the benefit of obviously being able to do a shorter shutter speed as such, or a faster shutter speed, is you don't get blurry clouds, because those clouds are actually moving in the sky, and you're going to end up with a blurry image, as in not blurry, but the clouds are going to be blurry because they're moving. So obviously if you can have a faster shutter speed, it's going to keep them nice and sharp, keep your stars sharp, and just gives you a completely different look than what other people may be able to capture. Filming it, I've not seen anybody else really filming it, and it's something I quite enjoyed doing because you can. And having that f1.2 lens, I've had a 50mm f0.95 before, fully manual, and it was just unusable. Maybe in this situation it might be quite usable, and it wasn't expensive, but I did send it back. I think there is a video on here somewhere that I've actually tried it and used it, and it just wasn't a very nice lens to use, sadly. But the 35 is actually lovely. Obviously it would be nice to have a slightly wider angle of view, but obviously 35mm is 35mm, and it just works quite nicely because actually you're close enough that you've got some detail. And obviously with the Sonys you can actually use when you're filming, use clear image zoom, so I can zoom in 1.5 times, which gives me a little bit of zoom up to say around about 50mm. So it almost gives me two lenses in one. And obviously I can use cropping mode for photos as well if I want to, but obviously in this situation I really wanted it for as wide angle as I could actually have, which is obviously 35. But yeah, interesting to mess around and good fun, and it's something that we don't see all the time. So anyway, hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you soon for another one.